Now, everybody who's watching, let's get RBT to 500,000 subscribers by Christmas. He's the best Madden scientist there is. I subscribe to him, and if you don't subscribe to, your favorite team is going to lose to the I'm not saying that team.
I would like to act like I'm happy, but I'm not, dude. God dang, like, you guys don't think YouTube is a stressful job, man. Like, I know this has nothing to do with the freaking video, but Jesus Christ, dude. So, if you guys probably know, my last month has easily been my best month ever on YouTube. Times like 2. I've gotten 2 times the total views that I've ever gotten a month before, leading up to this month. And for the second time, I have this company that has gone through and tried to copyright claim every single video I've made within the past 2 months, because the song I used the last 30 seconds of all my videos that is non-copyrighted, that the owner says you can use their music as long as you just give them credit, because this particular company thinks that song sounds similar to a song they own. It's not the same song. They think it sounds similar to a melody of a song they own. They're able to go through and just take all the money from every single video I've made the last few months. So that's what I'm dealing with right now. So if I don't seem happy and joyful, that's because it feels like my whole entire last month here on YouTube, last 2 months, have been literally for naught. That's the kind of stuff you have to deal with being a YouTuber, you know? You just, you make videos, you think you're doing well, and then it's 2 months later, like, oh no, we're gonna take the money from you. So I'm pissed off. But that's all, I just had to get that out. I had to get that out, I have to breathe. Today, dudes, was the NFL trade deadline. And as we've done here on the channel the past few years, we like to take the trades that happened in real life and see what would happen in Madden. Would the trades be accepted in Madden 20 as they were in real life? There's a couple of big trades. Nothing really went down today in trade deadline, but a lot of big trades happened leading up to the trade deadline, and we're going to attempt them all today in Madden 20. So if you guys could, you know, leave a like on this video, at least I would be happy. Like, I might end up like not ever using music ever again, because it's freaking so stressful. Like, making videos and 3 months later, our company saying, oh, we think your song sounds similar to our song, so we're going to steal all your money. So as long as you can just drop a like, and if we get a lot of likes, at least maybe it'll make my day a little bit better. But I am stressed out. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't, because if we do hit 400,000 subscribers by Christmas, we are going to be up on my Christmas giveaway from last year. Last year, we gave away 2 Xbox One X's, 2 PS4 Pros. If we make it to 400K by Christmas, it'll be 3 Xbox One X's and 3 PS4 Pros. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Now, with that said, my dudes, first trade we are going to attempt is probably the most random trade that happened in today's trade deadline. It actually happened today. One of the few trades, I think the only trade that actually did happen today, and that is the Miami Dolphins trading for veteran cornerback from the LA Rams, Mr. Aqib Talib. 86 overall, 33 years of age, like, poor guy, veteran trying to win a Super Bowl, and he just gets traded to the worst team in all of professional football, and that's the Miami Dolphins. Now, the only problem here is the fact they also got a 5th round draft pick from this year out of the deal, and the only thing they said thus far is the Dolphins are just trading a future pick. So we don't know as of just yet what that future pick is going to be. So I guess in today's video, what we are going to do is see what that pick has to be in order for this trade to be accepted in Madden. I don't know what it's going to be in real life, but we're going to see what it would take for this trade to be accepted in Madden 20. So first of all, let's throw in like a 3rd round draft pick. Would a 3rd round draft pick be enough for this deal to be accepted? And it's not. The only value at Aqib Talib at 1 star, so it might be enough for a 2nd round draft pick, and I highly doubt in real life it's going to be a 2nd round draft pick. It may be like a 4th at most. It might really just be like a 4th round draft pick. Basically what the Rams are doing is just shedding the cap space of Aqib Talib off, and 2nd round draft pick, still not good enough. So how about a 1st round draft pick? Still not good enough. It's probably going to take the #1 overall selection, and it was accepted. So in real life, honestly, the Rams will probably get like a 4th round draft pick from like 2021 back in return. But in Madden 20, it literally takes the #1 overall selection for this trade to be accepted in Madden 20. So right there, that kind of shows you the direction we're going towards into today's video. Next trade also involves the Miami Dolphins, but we are going to be using the Arizona Cardinals. Because they've had so many freaking injuries at the running back position, are bringing, or did bring over, running back Kenyan Drake from the Miami Dolphins for a conditional 6th round draft pick. We'll just use a 6th round draft pick from this year, and I know for a fact this isn't even going to be remotely close. Look at that. You'd need, like, this trade went through in real life, you'd need probably, what's that, maybe 12 6th-round draft picks for this to be accepted in Madden 20. So how about a 3rd-round draft pick? Like, not even close to the value they shipped on in real life. And it's still not accepted. So in real life, they literally, all they have to do is trade away a 6th-round draft pick in a Madden 20. It's going to take, on top of that 6th-round pick, a 3rd-round pick. And then Kenyan Drake can be brought over from the Arizona Cardinals. Once again, shows you how great Madden trade logic really is. Now, next trade does involve the Seattle Seahawks when they went out and traded for a Detroit Lion by a name of Quandre Diggs. 79 overall, the 26-year-old strong safety. And in this deal, they also got a 7th-round selection from the Detroit Lions, and I'm guessing that's from this year. And all they had to do was trade away a 5th-round pick from this year. So I know for a fact this isn't even going to be freaking close. And look at it. They value Quandre Diggs at 4 stars. So this is probably going to take like a 2nd-round selection. But on top of the 5th that it only took to trade for Quandre Diggs in real life, let's throw on top of that, we don't have a 3rd-round pick. So I don't even know if a 2nd-round selection will be enough. Submit this through, and it's still not accepted. So if we also add in like a 3rd-round draft pick from next year, will this finally be accepted? And it was. So once again, in real life, it only takes a 5th-round selection for this trade to be accepted. But in Madden 20, because once again we all know the trade logic is 100% on point, takes that original 5th, on top of that a 2nd-round selection from this year, and a 3rd-round selection from next year. Next trade involves the Houston Texans, where they went out to the Oakland Raiders and brought in a cornerback to help out that secondary, and that is wasn't he a former 1st-round selection? I could be wrong. Gareon Conley, 78 overall in Madden, 24 years of age, and all they did was trade away a 3rd-round selection. Now, I don't think this might be accepted. I'm curious. So it's a little bit more than halfway. So a little bit closer than the other deals that we've seen in today's video, but still not accepted like it was in real life. But it shouldn't take, I wouldn't think that much more. If we throw in a 4th-round selection, how close is it now? It was accepted. So thus far, in probably all of these trading videos we've done when we try to replicate real life trades into Madden, it was probably the closest one we've seen to the real life trade thus far. Next trade involves the Philadelphia Eagles and the Cleveland Browns, where the Eagles acquired outside linebacker Genard Avery for only a 4th-round selection in 2021. I'm not sure. He's a 74 overall, 24 years of age, so he's young, decently rated, so I don't think a 4th from 2021 will be even remotely close, but we'll attempt it just like it was in real life. It'll probably not even be out of the red, and as you see, that's a little bit closer than actually what I expected, but like that would take probably, 6 more 4th-round selections from 2021. So instead of just a 4th-round selection from next year, how about a 4th-round selection from this year added on top of that? And at least it went up some, but I still think it's going to probably take maybe a 3rd-round draft pick from this year on top of that 4th from next year, and I still don't even think that'll probably be enough. Submit this through, and it was accepted. So some of these trades we've seen thus far is actually a lot closer. When you think about it, that's like more than like doubling the value than what we originally had in the deal. But still, it's a little bit less complicated than what some of the other trades we've tried to replicate have been in the past. Now, this was actually one of the craziest trades I think of the trade deadline. Literally, Leonard Williams being traded from the New York Jets to the New York Giants. The guy doesn't have to move, doesn't have to change stadiums. Literally, the only thing that changes is his uniform. So for this trade, the Giants did send out a 3rd and a 5th-round draft pick from this year, so some pretty big value in terms of real-life value. But in Madden 20, is this going to be enough to bring in the stud defensive lineman? He's one of the higher overall players on the team. He's at 82 overall. He's just so much cap, and he's 25 years of age, but still I don't think this will be enough for Leonard Williams to be traded to the Giants. And it's a little bit closer than what I expected, but they do value him at 5 stars, so it's probably for sure going to take at least a 1st-round selection. I think even if we added in a 2nd-round selection for Leonard Williams, I don't think it will be accepted in Madden 20, and it's close. But I just don't think we can get away with this trade without using a 1st-round selection, unless we did something like take out the 5th, and we also add in a 4th instead on top of the 2nd. I think this should probably be accepted, so maybe we can get away without using a 1st-round selection. Submit this through, and yes, in real life, it only takes a 3rd and a 5th, but in Madden 20, you have to change that 5th into a fourth, and add on top of those a second round pick. So a lot of picks being traded here, when in real life it only took a third and a fifth. Now this one was an interesting one. I think a very good trade for the guy that got traded here. The 49ers do bring in star receiver Emmanuel Sanders and a 5th round selection for a third and a fourth. Now, the reason I think this might actually work in Madden 20 is the fact that in Madden 20, it's a little bit easier to trade for players that are a little bit older. And Emmanuel Sanders, I believe, is 32 years old. So this actually might have a chance. And also, they did get a 5th round selection out of this deal. So submit this through, and it was declined. So it will be a little bit more difficult than what I expected, probably because of that 5th round draft pick being added in there as well. So if we don't have a 2nd round selection to use, so how about just the first? Just the first to use on a 32-year-old receiver. Submit this through, and it still declined, so this one's going to be funny. I think it's also probably going to take that 3rd round selection. That still probably won't be enough. Submit this through. It's not even green yet, so even that 4th round selection, submit this through. So on top of the value it took the 49ers to bring Emmanuel Sanders in real life, even throwing on top of that a 1st round selection, you still can't get this deal to go through in Madden 20. So instead of the 4th rounder, we'll probably have to throw in like a 2nd round draft pick from next year instead of a 4th from this year. Submit this through, and that one was still declined. So the only thing I think we have left to do is throw in a 1st round draft pick from next year as well. So 2 firsts and a 3rd for Emmanuel Sanders and a 5th. And that one was finally accepted. So in real life, once again, simply takes a 3rd and a 4th. In Madden 20, takes 2 firsts and a 3rd. As next trade was actually a pretty big one, as the New England Patriots bring in receiver Mohamed Sanu from the Atlanta Falcons for a 2nd round selection. A lot of people said this was a little bit overpaying for Mohamed Sanu. He could be a star receiver in that New England Patriots offense. Josh Gordon's now out. All the receivers have been banged up. So I think he's a very valuable asset to add to that team that's trying to win another Super Bowl, back-to-back Super Bowls. Now, in Madden 20, will this trade be accepted? It might actually be. Is it Mohamed Sanu? Didn't say he's 30 years old. He's 30, so there is a chance this could be accepted. And it's about probably the closest deal we have seen in today's video going through Madden 20 as it did in real life. So if we simply add in probably like a, oh, we don't have a 5th, maybe a 6th round draft pick from this year, maybe this will be enough. And it's close. How about a 7th? So not too much value also having to be added into this deal, and boom, it was accepted. Instead of it just being simply a 2nd like it was in real life, you had to add in a 6th and 7th round draft pick from this year. But hey, the closest deal we've seen in today's video thus far. Now this one is a crazy one, as the Baltimore Ravens trade away outside linebacker Kenny Young, who is only a 66 overall, over to the LA Rams for starting cornerback Mr. Marcus Peters. 82 overall, 26 years of age. Dude, I really don't think this trade is going to be even freaking close. Although the Rams do need a middle linebacker. We submit this through, and it's a little bit closer actually than what I expected. With Kenny Young only being a 66 overall, I kind of expected this trade not to be out of like the first like goddamn centimeter. But hey, it was actually halfway. So on top of that, maybe all it's going to take is maybe a 3rd round draft pick, which obviously in real life is a lot of value, but in Madden 20, not that bad. Submit this through. Is probably going to take a 2nd. Probably going to take a 2nd or take a 3rd. Submit the 2nd round draft pick on top of Kenny Young for Marcus Peters. Almost accepted. If we throw in, I don't think a 5th will be enough, but we'll try it. I think a 4th should be enough. Is extremely close. So last but not least, a 4th round selection. Submit this through. And finally, so in real life, it takes just Kenny Young for the LA Rams to ship on Marcus Peters to the Ravens. But in Madden 20, on top of that, takes a 2nd and a 4th. Now, last and final trade, easily the biggest trade of the entire year. The LA Rams, who you just saw shipped on Marcus Peters, they did that because they brought in Jalen Ramsey, arguably the best cornerback in the entire NFL, over to that secondary. 96 overall, only 24 years of age. I do think he is the highest overall cornerback in Madden. It takes a lot though. It takes 2 firsts and a 4th round selection to bring in this man. Now the problem is, I don't even think this is going to be freaking close to being accepted. Might not even be out of the red, although it's 2 first round draft picks. Submit this through, and yep, it's still in the freaking red. So this is how it went through in real life, but in Madden 20, you take the same value, you'd have to take the value that the Rams sent to the Jags and multiply that by like 23. That's a lie, but you get my exaggeration. So I don't even know if we can add in players to this deal for Jalen Ramsey to be traded to the Rams. It might take Aaron Donald. Well, they're not even interested in Aaron Donald. That's realistic. You know, the Jags, if they had Aaron Donald a part of a trade, they'd be like, nah, we don't want him. So, not Aaron Donald. About one of these guys, one of these 3 top players. They won't Todd Gurley and Andrew Whitworth, just not, star lineman Aaron Donald. So Todd Gurley and Andrew Whitworth for Jalen Ramsey. Submit this through. Not even close. Yeah, I think this is just an impossible trade. Doesn't matter who we added into the deal. I mean, we could put actual God, in this deal and it wouldn't be accepted. So yeah, that once again shows you how stupid Madden 20 really is.